Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com, and we're loaded this week from the schedule release, which we'll have instant reaction to here on CBT, to everything that's going to go on at Paul Brown Stadium, which today Jonah Williams and DJ Reader both spoke. Both of those news conferences in their entirety posted right here on CBT. Plus, well, we got rookie minicamp coming up. So a lot going on at Paul Brown Stadium, a lot going on here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's dive on into it, because this is the first time that we've heard from DJ Reader. This is the first time that we've heard from Jonah Williams since Super Bowl 56. And well, you're going to hear from Jonah on the offensive line play on Super Bowl 56, and we're going to dive into the fifth-year option side of things for Jonah. But first, let's hear from DJ Reader, because the Super Bowl 56 loss was hard for you. I think it was hard for a lot of people to digest, to get past. A lot of you probably haven't fully digested it and understand it because they were this close, right? They were that close to getting it done. And DJ Reader, well, he summed it up quite nicely.
I take losses pretty hard, no matter what losses, and especially like when you get that close. So I didn't really talk to too many people. My mom knows how I am. So I think I talked to my agent for a month and talked to my mom for probably like a week. Everybody was just kind of out for a little bit, but then, I get back and everything's all good.
How often do you usually talk to your mom?
Every day, yeah. That's my dog.
Did she know that you needed your time?
Yeah, she doesn't even try to talk to me after stuff like she does. Me and her are very similar. We don't talk to each other after losses, but me and her really always talk about leaving it all out there on the field. That's something her and my dad's always preached to me since I was a kid. Just demeanor and how you play the game. And if you leave it all out there on the field, you really don't have anything to be ashamed about. You're a natural competitor. You're gonna be pissed, but to be ashamed about is hard to do.
I don't blame him. I get it, or I don't get it, but I understand it from a competition standpoint, how it would just be really, really hard to get over something like that. But as you'll see if you watch the entire news conference with Reader, this dude, he's moved on. He's ready to go. He's working hard, all of those things. He's not paying attention to the critics, and certainly excited about the additions this offseason, specifically on the offensive line. And that's the part of it when you think about Super Bowl 56 that we all talked about, right, is the offensive line, the offensive line, the offensive line. In Jonah Williams, well, he's a big part of the Bengals offensive line. They exercised his fifth-year option. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, here's Jonah on his thoughts on how different the line played later in the season when Joe Burrow was getting hit and hurried a ton, specifically in the playoffs.
The level of competition rises. Everyone's bringing their best, and I don't think we did enough to step up when we needed to, and so that's what we're going to be doing this year, is making sure that we do that, and making sure that we lead our team to winning the Super Bowl this time. And
the Bengals are set to have at least 4 new starters on the offensive line, at least 3, I would say, but probably 4, because unless they brought back Quentin Spain, and well, Cordell Volson has his number, and Spain can't rule him out, but I don't necessarily see that happening. So to me, going to have 4 new starters alongside Jonah Williams, who they did pick up the 5th-year option on. And I like this. I like this decision. Jonah Williams is an ascending player. Why do I think that? Well, his first year, he missed his entire year due to an injury, that pec injury. Second year, played okay, but obviously there were some growing pains, and then he got injured late in the year. This past year was fully healthy, was able to go play a bunch of games and play at a relatively high level for most of the year, I thought. And so to me, that was his first fully healthy year. What can he do in year 4, but what's really his year 3 as far as being out on the field? And so that's exciting for me. You don't want him to go into a contract year, play really well, and then not have him. And so, yeah, you guarantee $12.9 million in 2023. The cap's going to go up anyway, and if he's the type of player you think he can be, then it's going to be fine. It's going to be good value for the Bengals. So to me, made a lot of sense to exercise that option on Jonah Williams. Here is the former 11th overall pick on the fact that the Bengals did pick up that 5th-year option.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. I appreciate, having, at least 2 more seasons here to really work with my teammates, the new guys we brought in, and it just allows me to focus on this year. I want to treat every year like, going to play my absolute best regardless of my contract situation. But, it does feel good to have that vote of confidence from the organization. I had confidence in my ability to play, and I know that the organization believes in me, and so I was excited when it happened, but I wasn't super nervous about it.
Another guy that the Bengals are hoping to extend and keep around long term is a former second-round pick. Jessie Bates, the star safety, hasn't been in attendance during these voluntary workouts for the Bengals, which we know, which we've talked about. At the same time, we've heard from Mike Hilton really shout it from the mountaintops and tweet it and do everything that he can to be in Jessie Bates' corner. And DJ Reader, similar. They're really good friends. Reader helped Bates a lot, especially early in the year last year when he struggled some in that contract year. But obviously the dude came on in the playoffs and played at a high level. And that's something that Reader certainly took note of. And there's no doubt about it, DJ Reader hoping that Jessie Bates gets paid here by the Bengals and stays in Cincinnati long term.
I talk to Jessie twice, 3 times a week. And just staying true to herself. I understand the situation. I understand what's going on. Again, it's a part of business, and all parties got to take care of themselves. I want him to be here. I obviously want him to get paid. That's my dog. But I keep telling him that those fruits are going to come. He's put in the labor. He's put in the work. And those fruits are going to come, whether, it's here or somewhere else. And, I love it, would love him to be here. I don't want him anywhere else. But I know that his hard work is always going to pay off. So I try to make sure I keep his head up about just the work that he's put in this league and let him know that hasn't gone unnoticed by anybody. Everybody out there can see it. When you've done something, you feel like you've put that work in, you want to be rewarded for it. I feel like, what he did in the playoffs it spoke for itself. That much of a leader and through the middle and somebody who comes up and he plays in big games. He's out there, and I think he pressed a little bit last year as a player, but I think the way he ended the year just spoke volumes to who he is as a person and pressed through. He didn't come out here, he didn't complain. So, I love him, love that guy.
One last one, and this one stood out to me, and we've talked a lot about, the Jessie Bates part of it. We'll see if they can get a deal done. They have until July 15th to do so. That is the franchise tag deadline for extensions. So maybe deadlines spur action. Maybe it'll happen for the Bengals. That being said, one guy that they weren't able to keep after signing last offseason was Larry Ogunjobi. And he agreed to a 3-year, $40.5 million deal with the Bears. And then he failed his physical, and the Bears completely backed out of the deal. Larry Ogunjobi now still a free agent on the market. Was a big part of the Bengals' interior pass rush this past season. And who knows, maybe there's the door's cracked, and I think it is. I think it's fair to say the door's cracked for a Larry Ogunjobi return. But he's still out there. He's still on the market after potentially getting life-changing money and then having that slip through his fingers. Here's DJ Reader, who's good friends, naturally, with Larry Ogunjobi. They both play on the interior defensive line, and his fellow defensive tackle, well, Reader, he feels for him because Reader just a couple years ago signed that life-altering deal with the Bengals. And, well, Larry Ogunjobi was this close to getting his own, and it didn't happen because he failed his physical. Here's Reader on his thoughts on Ogunjobi and that entire situation.
It's a very, very unfortunate situation. It's one of those situations where you think your life's going to change, and boy, does your life change just now. So, me and him talk. We pray together. We talk to each other. He knows I always have his back. And, I'm just praying for him. That's one of my good friends. I've watched him grow as a player. And it was very unfortunate that situation happened. It's just, that when I saw it, it really pissed me off. But, you can't really comment on it. Everybody doesn't go about handling business the same way, and you got to take that in perspective at all times. And unfortunately, that's the way you learn it, because like I said, that's life-changing money, and then for that to be just snatched away is rough.
Never say never when it comes to Ogunjobi. I think there's a chance, and there's a path for him to return to the Bengals in 2022. I don't think that path is necessarily open today. I don't think they're about to call his agent and bring him in, but could they do it before camp? Potentially, and that's probably what Ogunjobi's waiting for too. He wants to make sure he's 100%, not 95%, not 97%, because the last thing you want is to go to another team, agree to a deal, and the same thing happen. But really, really unfortunate for one of the NFL's good guys. Covered Larry Ogunjobi in Cleveland for a bit. Everybody had great things to say about him there. He obviously signed with the Bengals this past offseason. People had great things to say about him in Cincinnati, and obviously DJ Reader thinks really highly of him. So never say never. I think there's a chance. At the same time, I wouldn't be on pins and needles because it might not happen, or another team may swoop in and grab him because Larry Ogunjobi is a good player. And hopefully, he might have to take another 1-year deal, but hopefully it leads to that life-altering money that, Reader certainly wants to see Ogunjobi get. And who wouldn't want to see Ogunjobi get at one of the NFL's good guys? For more, make sure you subscribe to Cincinnati Bengals Talk right here on YouTube. Check out allbengals.com, where there's going to be a ton of details, ton of reaction throughout the week, whether it's rookie minicamp, which is later this week, the schedule release, and so much more. So stay tuned and buckle up. That's why you got to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. For our channel coordinator, Andrew Foxmiller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now right here on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.